This was probably for me the most intense experience as a composer ever, that I knew that I had only the week and I had nothing else, but I literally spent 10 hours every day or so, 8 to 10 hours, with breaks of course, but such a continuous and focused effort, not
just
like
this one thing.
And then because I knew that, like I don't know how it works for you guys, but for me it works that whenever I would write the piece, then I would always need to take a little break, step back, and come back to it and see how it works, and then I'll make revisions or expand it. So I want to give myself the extra at the end, those 3 days. So I want to write as much as possible at first. Then I really took maybe a half a day off, and then the next day started seeing what can be expanded or developed more, and then the last 2 days was really just preparing the score and parts. That was dead, and it was already after the process of composing, just the tedious part of really preparing it well, all of the parts and all the stuff that's printing and binding and everything.
All the little things that go into it.
Yeah.
I found myself doing a lot of reductive composing, just so that I knew I would have enough material to go with. I just composed as much as I could, sort of right off the bat, and then I kind of whittled it down over time. So it actually, the piece was initially 8 or 9 minutes or so, and then I just kind of started truncating things and whittling it back.
It's happened for me too.
But I was a much better position to be in than the position of getting there and having a movement and have to write in an afternoon and being like, oh, this is not going to So it was nice because I tend to second guess myself a lot as a composer, especially in the pre-compositional period. I get sort of like the blank page thing, get the sort of block if I have a lot of time to dwell on it, because there's so many choices you can make.
Yeah. Did you sketch out? You have 4 movements in your piece. Did you sketch out each movement, or did you write a complete movement and then moved on to another one?
So what I did was I found this treatise that Calder wrote, and I did the Calder thing. I found this treatise that he'd written in 1932 where he talked about whether or not to try to represent art abstractly or extractedly. So literally or sort of figuratively, I guess. So I knew I had this sort of overriding idea going, and then I just started looking at pieces of his work and interpreting them from a personal standpoint, but looking at them sort of objectively. So one of them is Flamingo, actually, my first full movement, not the introduction one after that. Where I just interpreted what does an arc mean? What would it mean because flamingo is it's all soaring arches and then things plummeting back down again. So once I picked out which sculptures I was going to go with, I decided to. I just sort of said, okay, this is what this one means to me. This is what this one means to me, and then that was sort of how it went. But in terms of sketching this, I can answer the question. In terms of sketching them out, 2 of the movements actually were written directly onto the page. I just did them all the way because I was running out a little bit low on time. The rest of them were sketched out proportionally, pretty much. And I went ahead and filled it in. And it got motivic material and things like that in place.
I think I'm remembering now that when you were talking about the day of, the first thing I did actually was to find. I went ahead and scheduled a rehearsal because I was like, well, I don't know if anything's going to happen with this. I don't want to just have a piece, that's kind of there. So I'm going to make sure I'm going to at least get a reading and have a rough recording of it. So I set up a rehearsal before I started writing, and that also shortened the time a little bit because not everybody could make it at the very last day. So when I looked at the sculptures, and it was nice that they made it optional whether you could use it or not.
Because it gives you freedom.
I just sort of browsed them. That one that was 3 up and 3 down. I was thinking 3 sharps and 3 flats.
There you go.
So that kind of that was as far as I went with that.